Studio, the sports media palace of Mid-America, the Wolf of Center Street. Here's your host, John Nabors.
And welcome into the John Nabors Show here live from Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate each and every one of you listening in and watching in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I am your host, John Nabors, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, which it is a wonderful Thursday. We have made it back from our Tour de Central Arkansas. I'm back in studio today, Natty State Sports HQ. And reminder, tomorrow we're going to be doing the John Nabors Show live from Hydrate NWA on Dixon Street. So really look forward to that. A lot of former Razorback baseball players will be showing up and having a chance to talk to them about, the baseball side of things, but also the great things that Hydrate NWA can offer to all of you. So look forward to seeing you all out there. And as a reminder for today's show, folks, if you want in on the conversation, it's a very simple thing to do. You can call in at 936-246-2889. You can also get after us in the chat, and we'll try to get to some of those as quickly as possible and throughout the show today, too. But I want to start the show with this little disclaimer, if you want to call it that. But there is, as you see kind of from the title there is a very good situation that Razorback basketball continues to find themselves in, where there will be potentially some big news happening here very soon for the Razorback basketball team. In the case of that happening, what will happen here on this show is that we will end the John Nabors Show and then immediately follow the ending of that show, Pot at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson and Scotty Bordelin, will go live, and then they will have all the details and all the latest on some of the big news that could potentially be happening here this afternoon. So it might be a little bit unorthodox in what you're used to, but here's the thing. We look at it as in television broadcast. No matter what, if there's big breaking news, no matter what the programming is, you have to cut it short and then go to the big breaking news for those to talk about it. So it's going to be the similar thing there. So if we end up having to end the show a little bit early today, don't you worry. It's going to be all about Curtis and Scotty over there in the Pot at the Palace. Well, they'll be going live across all of Natty State Sports platforms, so you'll be able to find it there. But just wanted to get that out of the way too, and get to some of the things that we're going to have to talk about here on the show today, because it's, as we've mentioned so much so far this week, Razorback basketball has been truly the thing that has been driving everything for Razorback fandom. Even in the baseball team, which they're really good, number 2 team in the country, got a big series against Florida this weekend in Baum Walker. Hopefully the weather cooperates enough to where they're able to get the game going. And, football is just such an afterthought at this point in time. People can't get enough of Razorback basketball. In fact, when we were down there at the various locations in Central Arkansas and had a great showing of people show up and support us and come meet us and had a lot of fun with them, if not all of them were just curious about basketball. Hey, when's the next commit going to drop? Hey, what do you think Calipari's doing as far as the staff goes? Hey, how good can we be? Hey, how much NIL do we really have? Like, just all of these things getting thrown out there. So many people are just involved, invested into Razorback basketball. Dare I say, the most they've been involved and invested in Razorback basketball since Nolan Richardson days. That's not a slight against anybody else. It's not even a slight against Muss. But even during the times of Eric Musselman, there was interest, there was excitement, there was intrigue. But whenever it came down to it, when the players got added out of the portal or whatever it was like, okay, well, this is potentially who it could be. This is what makes sense. They had a nice little recruiting class to go in it, but not expecting the freshmen to play very much because you seemed to kind of have the formula of what it was all going to be. Where now it's changed so much with Razorback basketball, with Calipari being at the helm, that now it's like, not just are you getting players, but you're talking about getting players that every single program wants. you're talking about NBA caliber players. The most that Arkansas ever had at least drafted into the NBA into one season in the modern history was just a few years ago, where they had, or last season, I guess, Jordan Walsh, Anthony Black, Nick Smith, all drafted into the NBA. It was a great deal. It was a great class. The year wasn't regular season-wise as good as you were hoping. You did go to the Sweet 16 and lose to UConn, so that was, at least better than what a lot of people thought it would be given the regular season. And you had players every year before that get drafted into the NBA, whether it was Jalen Williams or Isaiah Joe, just to name a few players into that whole transition and into that whole mix. So it's not like you're unaware of how Arkansas's NBA drafts and things have always gone. It's more so in the fact that you look at, okay, what can we do moving forward? How many NBA players can we get on this roster? Not just current guys that are ready to go right now, but can develop into NBA players. And anytime it seemed like, okay, 1 is solid, 2, great, 3, awesome. But there is serious potential, folks, serious potential in the way things are going right now, that Arkansas could end up with this particular season having anywhere between 3 and 6 NBA draftable players. And who knows, maybe I'm even being a little too modest putting the 6 number on there, but there is a legitimate chance that you have not just a caliber of player that you always strive for and that everybody wants, but you're talking about having a roster filled with an NBA starting rotation of 5 guys and then even some guys coming off the bench that are NBA caliber. That's not something that every team has. That's not something that every team is able to do, but Arkansas is 100% in the mix to make that happen. And when that does happen, and when it does pop off, and when we start seeing all these players start to commit, you already got a couple of them into the mix. Both of those guys are really exciting, and both of those guys, whether it's Big Z or Carter Knox, everybody's pumped up about them. And I know that this weekend and this week itself has been big for some visits, waiting a word on a few of them in particular. But assuming that it's all going to go the way and the direction that it looks to be going, you're going to see a roster that you have not seen before at Arkansas. You're going to see a group of talent that you have never seen before, never even knew was possible. And that's awesome. Like, that's an awesome feeling to have. And the excitement will just continue to carry through the summer, through the fall, the red-white game, Midnight Madness, whatever they end up calling it. That is going to be electric. And the constant attention that's going to be paid to the Razorback basketball program is going to be something we haven't really seen before in a long time. Maybe not even seen in any sport in a long time. The only time I can think of, at least in my lifetime, of football being the next level, like confident and excited, not only about the season, but about the possibility of winning a national championship. Only thing that ever came comparable to that was maybe in 2010. Bobby Trino, Ryan Mallett, wide receivers running, everybody going into that. That was the only time that in my lifetime I can remember truly feeling like that was going to happen. People will bring up 07 with McFadden and all them, but in the final year of Nutt, there was so much drama and turmoil, it kind of took away from the aspect of the possibility of winning a national championship. But now with this basketball team, you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to be concerned about it. You don't have to wonder. It's there. It's going to be there. And there's just no other way to put it. There's just no other way to really explain into words how exciting it's going to be. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. Until we actually get some games, until it actually goes down, I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I'm not going to complain. Well, I'll complain, but maybe not about the way things have gone all the time. Maybe not real, legitimate, angry complaints. Maybe just some little whining a bit. But I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to get upset. If anything, I'm just going to enjoy the ride and enjoy the fun that it's all going to go into. And that's all it's always going to be. Because at this point in time, what else can you do? Very few times can you have an offseason where you're not complaining about anything. I even think back to Muss's offseason, which everyone was excited. For the most part, I was pumped. But I kept looking at the roster, and I was like, ugh, there's no height. They couldn't get Connor Vanover eligible, and everybody else was 6'6", 6'7" at the most. And then you didn't really have a freshman class that came into that was just elite. I was excited about it, but I wasn't expecting a whole lot. But now, with what's going on with Cal, it's not just exciting, but I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting competition. I'm expecting being a nationally relevant program that's competing for a national championship now. I'm expecting it. And maybe that's where the excitement comes into play. Maybe it goes hand in hand. Maybe it's all the above. Maybe we'll find out. But I believe that Razorback fans have a lot to be excited about, a lot to be energized about. And this, as I like to say on my social media account, which all of you love so much, today, or in this case tonight, is going to be an insane day. And I am here for it. We'll get some of your chats and some of your phone calls and some of your messages and all of that here in just a second. But, folks, I got to tell you about our friends over at Superior Contracting and Development here in the state of Arkansas. Based out of Alonia, they service all four corners of the state of Arkansas, and they handle their licensed residential and commercial contractors specializing in all aspects of home building and remodeling. They handle everything from fencing to drainage, additions to remodeling of your existing structure, all the way to land development and ground-up construction. They do it all, and they're your one-stop shop for it. And even though they're in Bologna, they go to all four corners of Arkansas, no matter what it is. So don't worry about buying a new house. Don't worry about going and trying to find somebody else to handle your place, because you want to make sure you got experts doing it, people who are licensed in those things. That's why you need Superior Contracting and Development to make it happen and to make it possible. So give them a call today at 501-453-3053. That's 501-453-3053. You can also visit their website at superiorarc.com. But no matter what it is, when it comes to your interior and exterior construction needs, make sure it's Superior Contracting and Development there in Arkansas. All right. So, again, it's the John Nabors Show, and we'll have some of your thoughts and opinions going to be blowing up here in just a little bit, which in the chat I know it's there too. But let's go ahead and actually, I think this is once again Trey, who is in Harrison. Let's go ahead, phone lines. What's up, Trey?
John?
Yeah.
You guys were talking about the Mississippi State game from last year yesterday, and I just wanted to pipe this in. My first ever Razorback football game in person at the stadium was that game.
That sounds pretty terrible, dude. Like, I don't know why you're still a Razorback fan if that was your first experience, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's safe to say I'm pretty retarded, but I also was really into the basketball team. I got into the basketball team at a fairly decent time. Whenever I became a basketball fan for Arkansas, it was whenever Musk played Gonzaga. What was that, 2021, 2022? When that happened, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that you have some better and more fun experiences when it comes to your Razorback football fandom. Let's hope that's the case this season. Not sure it'll happen, but let's hope so.
Yeah, we need it. Well, at least I actually get to watch Bobby Petrino offense that I remember.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of slants and hopefully a lot of balance and hopefully a lot of fun and explosive plays to be had. That's at least the hope. We'll see if it happens, but that's the hope.
All right. Thank you, John.
I appreciate
Bye.
it. Yeah, thanks for calling in, Trey, as always, from Harrison. Again, folks, 936-246-2889 is that number to jump on in. Yeah. I mean, I thought we were done talking about that Arkansas-Mississippi State game. I know I'm definitely wanting out of it too. Let's see. I love some of these comments coming up. Too much fun with sheep. I'm not going to ask. Says, do we have a football program? Well, yeah, rumors are saying that there is indeed a football program. Not sure how much it's involved, but Derek also says, my sources are telling me that John will chug that bottle of Tito's on his desk if we win a championship. Tempting. I feel like I could do stuff that won't kill me, that can still be enjoyable and ridiculous without any of that when still winning a championship. I think that's possible. Surely we can make that possible. But I think it'd be considered, especially if it meant that Arkansas won a national championship. That's the case. Always good to see the Big Blue Nation in our chat as well. Nick says, John, we had that excitement last year. Some national media has us in the Final Four winning a Natty. No, 100% true. And there was that excitement. But I'm equating it to the roster that you're going to have of NBA caliber players. Because even going into last season, there were guys like Trevin Brazil and maybe a few others that were going to be drafted or could have potential to be drafted. It was just more about you got some really solid transfers and good college players that could end up developing into possibly an NBA player. But the excitement was there, but this is something to where not only are you going to have expectations of a national championship, but you could even throw into the mix of having a roster and a program that's going to have a draft, an NBA draft like nobody's ever seen before here at Arkansas. There's an element to it, and I like how you brought this up. I mean, I think it's a good point. There's an element to it, folks, where if you have a certain player or players, when they step on that field or on that court, where you know that they are the best players on the field or on the court, no matter who's on it, there's a confidence that you really can't fabricate there. Like there is just an element of, man, no matter what happens, no matter what goes on, no matter if it's up or if it's down, if it's good or if it's bad, no matter what happens, I know I got this guy. I think back to players like Darren McFadden. I mean, he's the obvious one. No matter who they played, when he stepped on the field, he was the best player on the field. Now, I think of a Traylon Burks. They played against a lot of talented teams, so I don't know if you want to just say, oh, for sure he was the best player that was on the field all the time, but he was in the top 2 every single time because he had that type of impact. Basketball has that in a lot of cases too. Point is that when you know you have more talent, a more talented roster, or just a player or two that are better than anybody else the other roster has to offer, you know and you feel very strongly that you're going to be all right. That worst case comes to worse, you're going to have that going for you. And personally, I'd rather have that. Coaching may come into play sometimes. You may have some times where the other team just gets hot. Like I think about last night, I was even watching the NBA game, the Celtics. I root for the Celtics. I won't justify myself as being a fan, but they lost by 10, and it was a shock to everybody. I was like, well, yeah, it's pretty easy to lose games when the other team makes 23 threes. It's like sometimes it's just going to happen that way. And even in baseball, I mean, when you had Kevin Kopps, when you had Andrew Benintendi, when you have a Hagen Smith, you got a confidence to you. And that's what I'm looking forward to for Arkansas in basketball, is that you're going to have that confidence because you feel like you have the best player or players on the roster at any given time. And people are already upset here in the chat. Just stop giving any justification to all those Kentucky fans that are in there, folks. It's okay. They'll get over it. So Razorback Rock said, somebody get him some coffee. I think he was talking about Trey. I don't know if you want him to have coffee. Hate to see what that would end up being like when he's all over the place. Aiden says, can we get a way too early prediction on who the next football coach would be? No. Come on now. Come on. Wait till the season goes terribly before we even have that conversation. We should give it a chance. Like, that's what I'm hoping for Razorback fans. Even if you want Sam Pittman gone, if you think that he's not the coach, that's fine. I understand it, and you have reasons to believe that. But at least, for everyone's sake, at least let the season play out first. Because who knows? Maybe it'll be shocking to everybody. Maybe they'll be something that everyone was hoping for this year. Maybe the adjustments of a Petrino coming in and then a Taylor Green. Like maybe those are the things that ends up making it so much better. Jeremy says, any truth to Molina possibly dropping out of the starting rotation, injury, or just losing faith in him? Andrew Ellis, where you at? Well, Andrew Ellis of Natty State Sports had a great bombastic podcast today where he talked about that in a lot of depth. But my understanding is, and this is according to Dave Van Horn, is that Mason Molina is going to be missing the rotation from this weekend. He twisted an ankle, is what they said. So, yeah, it's a term he used. But he says that they could probably put him on the roster, but want to make sure he's 100% moving forward. So that's what Dave Van Horn had to say. So I don't think that he's dropping out as long as he's healthy enough to go. He's just not healthy enough to go. And let's be honest, you're going to need Molina as healthy as, you're going to need everybody as healthy as possible for when it gets down to that. So I have faith in the pitching for Arkansas that they can still win. Like, they could win the series this weekend against Florida without Mason Molina. Not saying it'll be easy. Not looking at it past Florida or anything. I'm just being honest about it. Like, it just gives the vibe that they still have enough depth, enough talented where they can get by without having Molina in the lineup. Although I'd prefer Molina to be in the lineup. So Jose says, that guy call every day? Yes, he does. And I'm appreciative of it. Appreciative of all the people that call in. Even if you call in every day, I don't want to have Navy Mike on here. That's probably the one. Although I would find it pretty funny if Eddie in Clarksville called in. That'd be great. But for the most part, yeah, I think it'll be okay. To have people call in and to just give their thoughts and opinions. 936-246-2889. Kentucky fans are saying that everyone's just going to... These Kentucky fans are just always bringing up the NCAA tournament, like first-round exit. Folks, I still don't understand Kentucky fans. Your coach hasn't won an NCAA tournament game that you just hired. He's not won one. So what are we doing here? Good grief. Megan. Oh, Megan. See, I like hearing from Megan, who, for those who missed it, she called in to the show yesterday and talked about her driving from Canada to watch the Razorback football team play against Mississippi State. Well, I guess it was Alabama and Mississippi State, but yeah, I felt bad for her. But she says, I think the baseball and basketball excitement is just making Hogs sports have positive vibes in general. I know I'm excited for football after listening to the players and the attitude that they have. Yeah, see, that's my thing is like, I'm going to be excited about football, and I am excited about football. But right now, my attention is Razorback basketball. When we get into the fall, when we get into August and fall camp starts up, then absolutely, I'm going to be all in. And there'll still be excitement about basketball, but once by that point, hopefully, the roster is fully set and you kind of know what you're working with, and it's a matter of, all right, we got the pieces, we got the staff, we got the roster, so we'll just let them do their job behind the scenes, and we'll be here once the season starts. But people will get excited about football. I know that it's the fun thing to poke fun at, but I thought it's maybe somebody in the chat or maybe one of us said it, but kind of gives a vibe of like the 90s again. Basketball's so amazing and so great, and being awesome, and then football's kind of like, hopefully we get to a bowl game. That's kind of the vibe I'm feeling too. Johnny Young says, I love the kid from UNCG. He's a stud. Hey, listen, if you haven't had a chance to go on to NattyStateSports.com and check out the big board that Curtis and Scotty have put together, you need to. Goes into a lot of in-depth analysis on each and one of the players that not only Arkansas is looking at, but have visiting this week and into this weekend, and how they could fit, what the offers are, what's their situation. So, yeah, they got the whole breakdown over there, and they keep adding ones to the board if somebody gets put into the mix. So, yeah, you need to definitely check that out. So you're not getting any of that type of information anywhere else. I can tell you that. I can promise you that. Also, Aiden says, Calipari was the one who recruited Will Levis for Kentucky. Surely he can get us some football talent, too. Is that true? I mean, listen, if I was a football player, if I was a big-time quarterback, and I was taking visits somewhere and to other places, and I came to Arkansas, and John Calipari walked in and wanted to recruit me for the football team, like just saying, hey, you need to come to Arkansas because it's awesome, and Coach Petrino's awesome, Sam Pittman's awesome, like all that. That may mean more to me than any of the other coaches. And that's not a disrespect to him, but it's just like, whoa, yeah, that's John Calipari. Like, it's like mind-blowing a little bit. It's the same situation. Like, imagine if Jerry Jones came into your recruiting visit and was like, hey, I need you to come to Arkansas. Here's why. And he gives you the whole breakdown. Like, that'd be probably more impressive than Sam Pittman or Petrino or anybody. I don't know if Calipari will be into that Hopefully they don't make him do any more cringy videos on social media asking everybody to give, because that is not his style and vibe. He looked more uncomfortable than I did when I have to hear Curtis, Andrew, and Scotty do their inside jokes that I don't understand. Like, it just seemed like they were just really awkward and uncomfortable. But let him do his thing. Just let him do his thing. Again, folks, if you want to call in, get in on the show itself, 936-246-2889 is that number to call or to text in. I keep saying text in because I used to do that on my old show back on the Buzz. And maybe we'll have that set up too, where you can text in at the same phone number. We'll work on that. But, folks, also want to tell you about our friends over at Alumni Hall, because you need Razorback apparel. Let's be honest. You need Razorback apparel. You want to look good. You want to have those new polo shirts. You want to have something real nice for you and maybe for the loved ones, maybe for the family. So when you're going out for Razorback baseball this weekend, you want to look the part. So check out our friends at Alumni Hall. You can go online at nattystatesports.com/alumni hall, nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. If you go there, you'll see their entire catalog, to where not only can you see it, but you can order it and have it shipped directly to your home. It makes it so easy. I know traffic can be really tough over there on that side of Fayetteville, and dealing with that at times, especially working around your work schedule, makes it pretty tough, doesn't it? Well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about going in the store. Who goes to stores anyways? Actually, their store's pretty sweet. But if you're unable to make it, just go to nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. Check out all the stuff that they have, high-end stuff. Talking about Columbia, Nike, Peter Millar, Johnny O, everything Razorback that you could possibly ask for. They got it, so check them out today. It's Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. It's Alumni Hall. Visit the website, nattystatesports.com/alumni hall. Let's see. I know we'll have your Razorback update. Can't say that. I'll have your Arkansas update here in just a little bit, as there will be some various things that we'll have in place. But for those asking about the commits and when they're going to commit and everything, just hold your horses. You know, we're on top of it here. We know what we're doing. When the music breaks, when that's Stone Cold's music that you hear out there, you know that there's going to be a live performance of it, and we're going to talk more about it. So just be on the lookout for that. It'll be okay. Laney says, the Nelson kid from Bama's basketball team was recruited by Saban. It's same concept. If it was Nick Saban coming to me and I was going to play for Alabama basketball, which I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if Nate Oates wasn't doing it for me, Nick Saban would be really hard to turn down. And I'm just being honest about it. It'd be really hard to say, nah, you know what, Nick Saban, I know you're an awesome dude and you've done a lot of great things, but you're just not doing it for me here. You're just not letting it happen. Timothy says, I just want to point out that after living in Arkansas for 14 years, I chose the weirdest weird to start paying attention to in August last year. I'm assuming you mean the weirdest year to start paying attention in August last year. Maybe that's not what you meant, but yeah, that is the weirdest time. You've had a lot. That would be a great, fun summer topic poll question. If you could take a full year length, and it doesn't have to be like January to December of a year. I'm talking about a year span, 365-day span, 12-month span of the wildest and craziest time of Razorback athletics. What would it be? I think that there could be a lot of different years looked at that. I mean, this past one would probably be up there with the Sam Pittman football, not great stuff going on, and the basketball fiasco, and then throw in, the injuries to baseball that happened a year ago. Yeah, it would definitely be up there. It would definitely be up there. But yeah, it's been weird this past year, but not, I don't know, maybe it's not the weirdest. There could be some other ones there too. There's another comment that I wanted to get to. We can wait on that because I need to start highlighting the comments. I need to stop being stupid and just do it. Let's go to the phone lines again. I believe it's Jason on the line. What's up, Jason?
John, how you doing today?
Man, I am rolling. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I've been a fan of the Hogs since 1964 and 65, so that kind of gives my age away. But I got to say something.
Yeah.
Stop talking about Arkansas not being a football team, a football state. It has always been and will always be. So that just kind of ignited me a little bit. I just wanted to call in, first-time caller. Arkansas football is always going to be the top thing in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do agree with that. And I even made that point to where if you were to poll Razorback fans, for instance, and say, okay, you get to choose one, a national championship in football or basketball or baseball, which one are you choosing? I think overwhelmingly it would be football, no doubt about it. But what we were discussing yesterday and asking about is Arkansas basketball school, it's more like now in this current state of things, given the expectation and the level of relevance and the excitement level and everything for basketball, it's and the amount of investment also from the school into basketball, I think it's just right now seems to be a basketball school at this point. But that can change whenever there's, say if Arkansas football doesn't work out this year and Sam Pittman moves on and they hire some rock star coach, then the pendulum can swing the other way. It's just at this current moment, I think people are just all in on Razorback basketball more so than football.
Well, I think you're probably right, but right now, and I'm excited about John Calipari being a coach, but he hasn't shown nothing yet. And I just think that football has always been in the people's blood there, and I hear this everywhere now. We're a basketball state, and I just don't think that we are. I think that we're a football state, and I think we always will be. But I appreciate you taking my call. It was exciting talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jason. Thanks for calling in, man. Call back anytime. I know you've been a Razorback fan for a long time. And another thing, too, I should have said this, that I'll throw into the idea behind being a basketball school, football school, whatever it is. This is not a slight, but it might be a slight, but it's just a fact. Here in the state of Arkansas, forget the Razorbacks, the state of Arkansas, football-wise, talent-wise, has just not been consistent enough of putting out and producing high-level, high-caliber players, a multitude of them, each and every year. Now, there's occasions you'll get that, class of '08 that everyone talks about where you had Tyler Wilson and Joe Adams, Jarius Wright, Greg Childs, Chris Gregg, Dennis Johnson. You'll get those classes on occasion and when everything comes together, and that'll be great. But then there's also been some years where your best player was a 3-star that never even worked out from Greenland. I mean, it just there's no consistency to it. But if you look at Arkansas basketball, state basketball, high school basketball, the talent level in basketball, comparatively speaking, is night and day. I mean, Arkansas basketball in this state, they produce 4 stars, 5 stars often, very often. Think about some of the best players that Arkansas has had the past 5 years, 10 years even. The ones that actually went to the NBA. Bobby Portis and Daniel Gafford right now are in the NBA playoffs. Those are 2 guys from Arkansas. Nick Smith's from Arkansas, and he's there into the league. Think about a Jalen Williams. Think about an Isaiah Joe, both from Fort Smith, from the state of Arkansas. So the point is that you have so much talent in this state, basketball-wise, compared to football. And in basketball, let's be honest, too, you only need 1 or 2 players to make a huge difference, where in football, you need an entire team. But that's really been the disappointing thing for the high school football level. And again, I don't know if you point to one thing to blame on it. It just may be the coincidence, just may be the way things are. And that's fine. But it just has not been to the level it's needed to be to. And for me to feel comfortable saying it's for sure a football school, I think that people want football to be great. And their favorite sport is football. And they know that it can be fun, it can be exciting. But the reality is, if you're asking about what's most realistic, it's basketball. Basketball is the biggest and best sport that's the most realistic one of winning a championship here at Arkansas. And with that being the case, I'm okay with it. I wish you could be good. We could be good at everything. I mean, that's the way. But I'm not trying to say Arkansas is like Kansas either, where it's just all basketball and football's subsidiary. I'm not saying about like Kentucky or Duke or anything. It's just reality. It's what you look at it realistically. That's important. You got to look at it realistically. Yes, comes from, I don't even know what that says. You guys use words. But it says, being a football school requires numbers and the state just doesn't have. You see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you look at the state of Mississippi. The state of Mississippi has a lot of talent that comes out of that state, comparatively speaking to Arkansas. And the populations aren't that vastly different, but they just produce more. So it's just, to me, it's always going to be a basketball deal. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm curious, though, if compared to other schools, like how many schools do you think in major college sports would say with 100% without a shadow of a doubt, I want basketball to be the national champion? Like if you could choose a championship in any sport, it's basketball number one. I'd be curious to see how many schools are actually like that. I think the obvious Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas. But besides that, and I guess you could go with the small schools that don't have football programs or maybe not in the FBS and say those, but let's just do like, if you could do Power 5, I think you could probably count on one hand how many schools would rather have a basketball championship or a baseball championship or whatever over football. It's not many. So it's kind of the same. There was, let's see, too much fun with sheep again. Still awesome. Support the Razorbacks in every sport, even when we don't have the best seasons, and the perception changes on each sport based on current success. We are what the current success is at the time. I agree there too. Some people pop up if things are really starting to struggle. People are like, oh, we're a baseball school. Then heaven forbid all three start struggling, because then it becomes we're a track school, which Arkansas is a track school because that is their best sport far and away, no question about it. But doesn't mean that there won't be other teams and other sports that can get there and to bring it up and to get better from it too. All right, let's go ahead and get into your Arkansas update presented by Davis & Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owner's insurance agency, securing what matters the most. It's all quiet right now, and again, right now, for the Razorback side of things, but a few of notes that we know some certain visitors are on campus and here in the city of Fayetteville, taking a visit to Razorback basketball under John Calipari. You know, the Curtis Wilkerson, Scotty Bordelon put up on NattySports.com discussing about Brandon Garrison, who's the Oklahoma State big man. He's going to have a visit beginning on Sunday, who's 6'11", 245, and he's the number 16 overall transfer, number 5 center in the portal. So he seems like he could be a pretty good addition, but he's been added to the mix there. Also mentioned Razorback baseball going to be starting their series against Florida tomorrow. Now, the weather is definitely going to be something to watch for, because every time I've checked it, it's been pretty hot and heavy. Well, more so heavy and moist because of the rain and lightning and storms and all that. So that's going to be something that you got to look out for, because tomorrow Arkansas is supposed to play at 7 p.m. on the SEC network, and then Saturday they're supposed to play at noon on ESPN2. So you talk about those quick turnarounds, man, that is a quick turnaround. You got a late game at 7 and then a quick turnaround at noon for the next one. But then Sunday at 2 p.m., and that'll be on the SEC Network Plus. Arkansas is looking to continue on to get the offense going, and we know that Mason Molina is not going to be available to play this weekend. So as of right now, looks like, of course, Hagen Smith is going to be that guy Saturday. They're going to have Brady Tigert at that position, and then to be determined there on Sunday, which, you know, people are trying to guess who it's going to be, and some of you may be right, but to me, it's just vastly hinging on what Arkansas does in those first two games. If Arkansas wins both those games against Florida and they win the series, then they have a little bit more flexibility. They can maybe throw out somebody that they want to work into a starting role eventually, maybe find somebody that can help out in some ways, like whatever it is. Like they could get to that point. Or if they end up losing one of those games and they have the rubber match, then they may have to throw out some of the big dudes from the arms. Maybe they go with a Will McIntyre to start. Maybe they go with one of the guys that have been in the midweeks coming along a little bit more. So they'll have some pieces. They'll have some guys that they can actually get to. But as far as set in stone and who it's going to be, Well, that's just something we'll have to wait on. But that does it for your Arkansas update, presented by Davis & Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owners insurance agency, securing what matters the most. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get to more of your phone calls and messages, and we'll continue on with the John Nabors Show, to continue discussing some of the things happening in Razorback land, and also a question that was posed to me yesterday by one of you. It's pretty fascinating stuff, so we'll get to that and a lot more coming up next, so stay with us here on the John Nabors Show, live from Natty State Sports Studios.
We not done yet either, so don't be satisfied because we not done.
Hey John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat. I added a two-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horns.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh.
Guys, I got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Let's stick my dick in the mashed potato. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Nabors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Nabors Show here live from the Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate everybody listening in and watching in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. And since it is, the John Nabors Show, and we always talk about some of our great partnerships that we've made along the way, we want to tell you about the Autograph app, which we always appreciate the Autograph app being a part of us here at Natty State Sports, where you can download the app right using that QR code. Like it's pretty simple, folks. Just download it using that QR code. And what it is that you're able to consume all different types of various media that you're going to consume, whether it's articles or podcasts, like what we do here at nattystatesports.com. But you can be able to check it out yourself. And when you're able to consume that content, you build up to get rewards for yourself. And we're talking about great packages. You get tickets, you get concerts, you get so many different things to choose from. And it gets you to prices that you've never even thought possible. But the app is free. So download the app today. And it's the Autograph app. You can download it on your iPhone or on your Android. And you can use promo code Natty, N-A-T-T-Y. Use promo code Natty to check it out that way. And then you'll see exactly what we're talking about. It's a great app. It's a great use. And it's a lot of fun. And you can be able to get rewarded for it. So check it out again today. It's the Autograph app. You can download it using the QR code right there listed in the video. You can also download it from iPhone or Androids using promo code Natty. That is the Autograph app. And if you want in on the conversation, 936-246-2889 is that phone number to get in on. And I'm sitting here every time I get done with a read, and then I go to a break, and I come back, and I look at the chat. A lot of times it becomes an absolute cesspool. When I start seeing people bringing up bottoms up, I don't want to know why. I don't know what the context is, People are just started blowing up about it. There's no, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. So, and people are probably going to blame me for it, but that's okay. But either way. But we were talking about Razorback basketball and just being a basketball school compared to football or compared to baseball and everything. And I got to tease this a little bit in the previous segment, but I got something brought up to me dealing with Razorback basketball and Cal and the excitement and to what end will this be and looking at the landscape of college sports. Because we're excited in the moment and it's making sense. Like, how could you not be excited right now if you're a Razorback basketball fan? But with that excitement comes, I don't even want to use the word concern, but just comes a question or at least a doubt or at least a wonder of looking at college sports and the landscape of college sports right now, where it stands. Like, how do you even know? How do any of us even know what it's going to look like a year from now, 2 years from now? You know, the NIL is such an important part of it, and the NIL is not going away, but how do we not know that a year from now, it could be even less, that the NIL has a huge and massive change to it? How do we know that a year from now that the NCAA is even going to exist? How do we know a year from now that conferences and the SEC will even be around, or at least in the current state and the current format of how it is? And to be honest, we don't. We don't know. I think back to when it was in it's post-COVID, which was, you know, crazy for everybody and everything in every outlet. But I think back to post-COVID and the first time that the NIL became a thing, where there was a ruling for it, and then it busted, and then it went, and just how much that was going to change everything, and it has. But then the dominoes that came after that, and to think about how it just went crazy in a way that nobody really could predict. It happened so quickly, so fast, it was hard to keep up with. And still to this day, it's hard to keep up with. And that was just in 2021. Folks, that was 3 years ago, less than 3 years ago, when all that started. And now look at it. Now look at the entire landscape of college sports, not just with NIL, but with the NCAA becoming more and more irrelevant, with the conferences changing, conference realignment, with the ways that some state laws have it this way and some state laws have it this way, with the push from some about making college athletes employees and, you know, signing contracts in that regard. And I mean, it's absurd. And then we start to see, here's another crazy thing that, you know, I'm just going to be honest about it and be blunt about it. But here's another crazy thing about it is that if you think of how the student athletes get NIL and money and all that, thinking back to it, you would have just said, well, the NIL is always going to go to football and to basketball, and that's it. Because the other sports are non-revenue generating, which is true. But we see a lot of examples of NIL, high level, ultimate, highest type level of NIL going towards student athletes that are in gymnastics. I think of like Livy Dunn and how much money she's made. The Cavender twins, how much money they've made. You know, Angel Reese, how much money she's made. You know, these sports that were throwing Caitlin Clark, everybody, like these sports that are non-revenue generating, and, you know, we would have thought that they wouldn't be paid. Boom. Well, here, some of the highest earners are from these non-revenue generating sports, and it's for various reasons. So the point is that I don't know what it's going to look like in a year. None of us do. And it's a little bit scary because who knows? There could be something that Arkansas, and it could be in basketball, baseball, whatever sport, but Arkansas has something going for them right now that's really good. And they're set up for success in what the current state of it is. But there could be something that changes here in the near future that makes it all different and changes the game in a negative way for Arkansas. I've always felt like the NIL changed it for a positive for Arkansas. I think there's evidence to believe as to why that's still the case, that an NIL landscape is good for the University of Arkansas and good for the athletic department. But everything that we know in college sports changed in just 2.5, 3 years. Everything. What's the next 2.5 to 3 years going to hold for us? I have no idea. But still fun. Still fun to talk about. Still fun to enjoy. Still fun to have. Scott says on the chat, how many years are people going to keep throwing money at these athletes? Forever? Like, it's not going to stop. It hasn't. Even before NIL, folks, it was going on. It was happening all the time. Now it's just public and it's legal. But it's just like, you're not going to change anyone's mind on that. It's never going to change. So you just got to embrace it. Just got to embrace it. Yeah, sifting through all these and sifting through the arguments is fun. Wanda Bread says, do these kids have to do any kind of financial counseling or take a course freshman year? I'm sure many 18-year-olds aren't great with a sudden six to seven figures. Yeah, this gets thrown around a lot. I mean, I think every school is different. I know a lot of schools do their due diligence and setting up their student athletes for success when it comes to finances, comes to taxes, comes to all of that. But also if you're a high earner, a big-time athlete that is making crazy amount of money, odds are you probably have your own people to do that for you. You probably have some representation. You probably have some person that's offered their services or that you've hired on for their services, or maybe their representation said, hey, here's going to be your person who does all this, and they take care of it. But as of right now, we haven't had any issues or any examples or stories of student athletes blowing all their money, going broke from NIL, and it being a major problem, or investing in the wrong place, or somebody there's just various stuff, tax evasion, something. I don't know. Like, we haven't had any examples of that just yet, and hopefully we don't. So until we do, it's hard to think that they aren't getting the financial advisory and also the things they need in helping themselves and trying to get them ready for life and for this amount of money. I don't think that there's any reason to believe it's anywhere else. So money is a big part of it, folks. Alan says the end game is a players' union and CBA agreement between leagues and the players. Yeah, people keep bringing this up as far as the players' union, because you have it with professional sports, and I'm not too fond of unions, not to get political, but I'm just not, for a lot of reasons why. So it'd be nice to see it not go that direction. But that being said, it only makes sense because the NFL or NBA or whoever, since they're kind of using it as the standard and as a formula that works, then they'll just try to mimic it and try to put it together and try to, maybe not to the same extent, but have something similarly set up. So I think that I don't want it to get to that point. I really hope it doesn't get to that point, because the whole variation in all of this too, folks, is thinking about the school and the school's involvement, right? Like, it'd be one thing if you were simply employing student athletes, but because of Title IX, but because of scholarships, because of broadcasting rights and finances, like all this stuff. There's just a lot of variations that go into it. So I don't think it's as simple as just, hey, make the student athletes employees and there you go. There's a lot more going into it. And that's why I feel like it's going to take a while to get to that too. So, and also I wanted to bring this up as part of the Arkansas update, and it actually happened after the Arkansas update, but did want to say that Arkansas lost another player of the women's basketball team. This time it was Miriam Dowda. Judges say it's Dowda. So Dowda. Entered into the transfer portal. She averaged 10 points per game and 6 rebounds a game. That seems pretty decent. So, great. Man, kind of making the joke with the guys. It's like, who's going to have more players on their roster? Razorback men's basketball or Razorback women's basketball by the end of this weekend? It's been rough for Coach Mike Nabors. All of them have jumped ship. Was his top 4 or 5 top scorers are gone? That's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. And I like Coach Nabors. He's got a great last name. Spells it wrong, obviously. But he's got 5. Okay, his top 5 scores. So, yeah, that's like there's no other sport where that happens and it's a good thing. People bring up Arkansas's men's basketball team and they all left. Well, a lot of it is because either their eligibility was done or because their coach left, which is not uncommon. But when the coach stays from the previous year and they weren't great, they were average and can return almost all of them, and you lose your top 5, that's not good for anybody. And it's just not a good look for Coach Nabors. So we'll see what roster he's able to assemble. Maybe he can bring in some other ones to make up for it. But any of the potential players that he had to be able to give him to some hope and some good feelings and optimism heading into this upcoming year, it ain't there. Ain't feeling good there. Jose is asking the question, do student athletes even graduate nowadays? Yes. There's more to student athletes than just like basketball players, right? Like Arkansas has 460 some odd student athletes every year. 460. You think all those players are just like, I'm going to go and not get my degree, even though I'm going to be at college for 4 years and have to remain eligible with my grades and then just not graduate? Yes, student athletes do graduate college. It does happen. So now, do the majority of certain sports graduate? Not always. Depends on how good they are, how talented they are, or where they want to transfer out to. That's also something you gotta look into. Count says, "Hey, the way things are looking." Oh, that's not the way it says. "Hey, the way things are looking, maybe we'll get Don Staley." Yeah, why not? Yeah, Calipari and Don Staley on the same team and then sharing the basketball court together. That'd be great. Everyone's coming up with their examples of how they feel like they should or what they can do to make it better for the NIL. Good luck. Makes sense to us. Doesn't make sense to everybody else. John Han wants to know, where's Curtis? Curtis is over there. He is patiently awaiting getting prepped for the Pod at the Palace, which is going to be dropping hopefully here soon. So that's where he's at. Aiden says, retiring after graduation to pursue a golf career is a dream. Yes, that's true. It's true. And then Zach says, what makes college basketball great is the pride of playing for a school or winning for your coach. Unfortunately, it's just starting to be about money for the players. Zach, I mean, I don't disagree that there is an element of that, but you have to realize that there are so many more student athletes. And since you're talking about basketball, there are so many other students and players and stuff that want to win, that aren't good enough to go to the NBA, that aren't good enough to get and garner a whole lot of NIL money. But say if you're at some small school like Oakland or something and you had a really nice career and you were blowing up and you were doing some great things after 3 seasons, and with the transfer portal, a school comes in and says, hey, or should say a representative comes in and says, hey, you're not making any money in NIL where you're at this small school, but if you come to our school, we're going to pay you $500,000 for 1 year. You don't think that you wouldn't take that? Like, I would. If I was 21, 20 years old, absolutely I would. And then you look at even all the big-time programs and players, a lot of them aren't making the NIL you think. There's only so much NIL to go around, and there's only so much that a player can make if he's not playing, but he still wants to play at the end of the day. Players want to play. Yes, they want money. Of course, we all do. Yes, they want to win championships. Yes, of course, but they want to play. They're players. So I think that some of them may be blinded or be misled or be in a bad situation because of how much money is put on such an emphasis. But I also think that there are legitimate, truly honest student athletes out there that just want to compete and win. I still think that's there. People keep asking and giving their thoughts on who is going to replace Sam Pittman as head coach. Man. Gil says, what did Calipari do to have 2 of 3 schools put on probation? The Memphis deal, I believe, was a situation with Derrick Rose. I'd have to look up at the details of it, but I know that it had to deal with academics, things like that. But here's my thing. I saw a funny, interesting list. The FBS football programs, like the most that have had major allegations, or not allegations, major violations, ones that got actually convicted for violations and everything to it, was kind of surprising to see some of those programs in there that got hit, like USC. Wasn't surprising, but the amount that they had was pretty incredible. But yeah. Okay, thank you. Those that might mention is Derrick Rose gets someone to take his ACT. Yeah. I mean, who hadn't thought about that? I'd be curious, like, how terrible would that be if you got someone to take your ACT and they still got like a 19 or 18? Like, if you're a student athlete and you're like paying all this money to somebody and they don't even get like a decent grade, like maybe if they get like a 14, that'd be really bad. And then what do? It's not like you can sue them. It's not like you can get your money back. I do think it's illegal, but still. Daniel says, I missed the part about Pittman getting replaced. He's not getting replaced. Just people are wanting to talk about coaching searches so much. You guys love yourselves some coaching searches. They're obsessed with it, that they want to talk about so much that they're willing to just like, well, we already got our basketball coach, so that search is over. So let's move on to football. Who are we going to get? Who's it going to be? Count says our ACT requirements are still there for athletes. I believe so. I think for students in general, you have to have an ACT score. But, of course, it's been a while since I've been in college. I know I was in college for 7.5 years, but that was also 7.5 years ago. Ew. Has it been 15 years? It has been. 2007 is when I graduated high school, so it's been even longer than 15 years. We're into 17 years. What's happened to the time? It's craziness. Yeah, and that's a good point. Like Cole, he says, yeah, you still got to get admitted to the school. Yeah, like that's not. I mean, yeah, you can really go through some things and some hula hoops to try to get out of it and to try to make it work for you, but you still at the end of the day got to do it. You still at the end of the day got to go to class. And if you don't go to class, you're not on the team. You're not going to be eligible to play. So I know people just think sometimes it's just, they don't go to class, they don't care, have everybody else doing it for them. Maybe an occasion, but I at least remember when I was at the U of A, student athletes were in class with me. I saw them in class. Now, once they left class, don't know what they did or how much help they had. Even when I was in class, there may have been some times that they had some help, but still had to go to class. Still had to do your thing. Still had to make that happen. And then, too much with fun with sheep. By the way, it's not that I don't like your name. I just think it's funny. It says, you are a young pup. No, I am not, but I appreciate it either way. And Josh says, Pittman and Petrino are our guys. You all just wait. I hope so, Josh. And I'm going to give it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to see what they can do. I'm not going to expect them to go in and win 10 games. But I'd like to see what they do as a duo. I'll give them a chance. You got to approach it in a way of prove something to me. You can be critical while also being optimistic. You can be excited while also being reserved. You can do both. But when you get to this particular point with Razorback football itself, everyone knows this is the do-or-die year for Sam Pittman. Everyone knows that. But it's a matter of, okay, show me something. I'm not going to sit here and hate on you and hate on the team and just talk trash about you because I don't know. The season hasn't started yet. Prove me wrong. Give me a reason to believe. Give me a reason to get excited. Give me a reason to get to that point. Like, that's all I'm asking for. And if you do that, great. But there are some people that really love being right. And I've noticed that about fans in particular, but the overly critical ones, some people just want to be right more so than enjoying their fandom. I think it was when I was on my previous radio show in Razorback basketball, past season kind of started off a little shaky. Had that loss to, I think it was one of the UNC teams. It doesn't even matter. They lost it at home. It was bad. And there was somebody that messaged me on Twitter and was like, this team sucks. That's all it said. I ignored it, whatever. I get a lot of weird DMs. Well, then after the season ended, that guy never talked to me again, didn't message me again, didn't anything, but then he goes into his DMs again, said, see, told you this team sucked. You didn't want to listen to me. And I'm like, my dude, like, were you just waiting? Like, you're just waiting for this to happen? For this to finally transpire to where you could go and say, hey, I was right. They were terrible. Because I have a feeling that if they would have turned it around and they weren't terrible, you probably wouldn't have said anything. So the deal is that you don't have to be right. And some fans feel like they need to be right. It like justifies them that they're much more of an insider or like someone who understands the game more, that's a more realistic person. Because, folks, a dead clock's right twice a day, okay? I get stuff wrong all the time. My predictions are wrong all the time. But I do get predictions that are right, too. Do I get credit for any of that? No. Do I want credit for it? Meh, sometimes. But it's like, who cares? That's what's fun about sports, is that we can expect, we can predict, we can wonder, we can adjust, but yeah, we can still enjoy the sport without having to go back and see, I told you. Great. What'd that get you? Justifying my stance. Awesome. Next, give us another prediction. Because if everybody was good at prediction, then everybody would be going to Vegas and they'd be winning a lot of money. That's the point. 936-246-2889 is the number to call in if you want to get here on the show. Jim says, yes, you want to be right too. Of course, like, I'd like to be right, but I'm not going to spike the ball from a random comment or a random tweet or something that I had months ago that was a complete and total guess, and then say this is why I am better and more wise than anybody because I took this. Like, if I say it's going to, I feel like it's going to rain here in 3 weeks from today, and it does. Like, what does that get me? Like, it's a complete guess. I don't know. But if I'm right, it doesn't mean I'm wiser than anybody. It's just you took something with it. That's my whole thing. We'll take a break here in a bit, but I know I got to answer this. Apparently, Anthony wants to know if John Nabors puts pineapple on pizza. Hey, I'm going to be honest. I actually like pineapple on pizza, and I'm not ashamed. Is it my favorite pizza? No. But if somebody handed me a Hawaiian pizza that had the pineapple and the Canadian bacon, I would 100% eat it. I like pineapple on pizza. People just need to relax on it. Mark says he had a reminder set on his phone to DM you again after the game, last game of the season. I bet you that's what it was. Like, it would not surprise me at all. It was almost immediately after the season came to an end. So yeah, I could absolutely see that being the case for him. He was wild. It's one of those like Twitter accounts that doesn't really have it's like a generic Razorback logo with 100 followers, and it goes by some name like Pig in the Bed or something, and then it's just a bunch of numbers. I don't know. And I look at his Twitter feed, and it's nothing but political posts and how mad he is about it, or she is about it. Seems to be like a common theme or something like that. It's almost like that's something that happens. I don't know. Oh, man. We got to keep it moving, though, folks. We'll have some other things to talk about here, too. But before we do take a break, I want to tell you all about our friends over at Signature Bank here in Fayetteville and across the entire state of Arkansas. That's the official bank of Natty State Sports. And here's some of the great things about Signature Bank, that when you go into that location, dealing with your money, your personal money, your business money, whatever it is, when you walk in there, you are going to feel right at home. They're going to have a personal touch for you that you can't get at truly any other bank. And they're big enough for you, but they're also not too big. They're small enough, but not too small. They're right there into the mix to be able to make you feel welcome, to feel like you're a part of the bank, to appreciate you and banking with them and making sure that all of your money, all of your finances, something that means so much to you, is taken care of and it's safe and secure. That's what they offer to you. So if you check out their website at signature.bank, it's www.signature.bank, you can see all the different amenities that they have to offer. And I know in a lot of cases, banking just may be a third thought that you'll have about, well, I just want to put my bank money in and then I expect it to, as long as my debit card works, then we're good. True. Some of you may take it that way. But you also want to make sure you're doing it with a place and with a bank that's not going to jeopardize that. So do it with Signature Bank. Again, go to their website at signature.bank. You can also check out their convenient locations all across the state of Arkansas. But no matter what it is, do it with Signature Bank, the official bank here of Natty State Sports. We'll take a break. When we come back, get to more of your messages. We'll see. And as well as more of your phone calls here on the John Nabors Show. So stay with us.
We're not done yet either. So don't be satisfied because we're not done.
Hey, John, Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrats. I added a two-parter if that's okay. You mentioned Arkansas. Eric.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky?
You missed it. Okay, you missed it. You missed it. Just tell me you missed it. I'm not going to go there with you, Dave. Why not?
And that will be the last question I answer with that hat on.
Oh, shoot.
That is why Arkansas is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I didn't like the game, but I'm glad I was able to walk off the floor again and deep inside and have that funny feeling that, hey, one more time, Horns.
Best guys, I know it's a tough time for you. The coach is gone, but you got a new coach now, and you got to listen to what he says. Okay, I know you're thinking, oh, who is this new guy? Where's the other guy that crashed the motorcycle? We like him better. He was cool or whatever. Forget about all that. Listen to the new coach and get out there and win some games.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
You guys act like it's... Pick it up a little bit. Okay? Get your chin up. Smile. Smile. Okay? Dang, you guys, all right? If not, I'm not talking.
Big Red, so excited. Big Red. Oh.
Guys, I got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
I was a teacher today. Told those boys, welcome to the SEC.
Well, Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
Well, stick my dick in the mashed potato. Go Hogs.
Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas.
Every time you put a mic in my face, I'm going to say Arkansas.
The John Nabors Show is live from the Natty State Sports Studios.
All right, welcome back into the John Nabors Show here live from Natty State Sports Studios. Appreciate everybody listening in and watching in on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. And I wanted to talk about David saying I was fed up with everybody. I'm not fed up with what people are coming at me today. One person said I'm fed up with everybody. Some person said I didn't like his YouTube name. What gives you the vibe? It's only good vibes over here, folks. Come on now. Well, now there's no reason to fret, no reason to look at it. It'll be fine. I did want to bring up another thing, too. So Arkansas actually, football-wise, had a commitment. This is a few things that are interesting about this. Arkansas got a commitment from a Taj Overton. He's a free safety out of Mobile, Alabama. He's a 3-star player, 6'2", 190. Had offers to Florida State, Liberty, Marshall, and Memphis, but just got the commitment for that about 30 minutes ago. That's unique, and that's great, and that's cool and all. But something that I found out, and I'd like to know how rare this is, there's another player named Taj Overton as well, who's a 4-star defensive lineman out of Oklahoma that actually has an offer to Arkansas. What are the chances of such a unique name that the only difference is that Taj that committed to Arkansas, the free safety, is spelled Taijh, where the other player, the D lineman, is Tajh. I hope they both go to Arkansas so everybody can be confused. But Taj Overton apparently is a big name for 2 players. One also, the one that committed to Arkansas is part of the 25 class, and the other one's the 26 class. But still, I just thought that was kind of unique and funny. So, anyways, Arkansas gets another commitment though, so we will see. Too much fun with Steve says, going to Town Pump to meet John and Curtis for drinks now. Be sure to join us. I don't think we'll be there. Loved the Town Pump and loved hanging out there, but we're back here in Fayetteville. We're back here in the Northwest Arkansas. We're back in the United States Sports Studios, so but appreciate the invite. Also, Council wants to know, John, are you watching the draft tonight? Any hot takes? Yeah, I'll probably pay attention to it. Here's the thing. The NFL draft is cool. I have no problem with the NFL draft. I will pay attention to it, but I don't watch it. I follow it on my phone, on social media, because I don't care about the other stuff. I don't care about the, Mel Kiper Jr. breakdown. And be like, I love this guy. He's flying around. He's got a low underside. Ever to go. Like, who cares? It's just tell me who they drafted, and then we'll move on. So I don't know if I'll watch the draft. I may watch the first round or maybe part of the first round, but that'll be it. Any hot takes, though? I mean, no. The Jets have actually done a good job of drafting players, who's my team, so hopefully they continue that on. Actually, you know what? Here's a hot take for you. Here's a hot take. Arkansas will have more than 3 players drafted. How about that? I feel like that's probably the only 3 players that will happen. Yeah, they'll get more than 3 players drafted. We'll go with that. So, there's a hot take for you. There's a hot take. I know there's going to be a lot of great quarterbacks in this class, or potentially a lot of great quarterbacks. My only thing to that, though, is that those who say that there's going to be like all these quarterbacks, I can't help but reflect back that year when it was Matt Leinart, Vince Young, Jay Cutler, like that class that everyone hyped up and said was going to be great, and it really wasn't. And also, I'm going to look up the year real quick because I kind of laughed at this one where people were saying something similar to it of the amount of quarterbacks that were like high-quality guys that are going to get drafted and going to be great. It was the 2011 NFL draft, I believe. So Cam Newton went number 1 overall. I wouldn't call him a bust or anything, but he had one really good year, MVP year, and went to the Super Bowl. But that was about it. But the other quarterbacks that were taking, Jake Locker, yeesh. Number 8 overall, Blaine Gabbert, yeesh. Number 10 overall, Christian Ponder, 12th overall, yeesh. Ain't too good there. And then there was another one, I thought. Oh, yeah, Andy Dalton, Colin Kaepernick. Then the next one ended up being, I thought there was one more in here that got drafted, and people were like, oh, this is the steal of the draft. Actually, Ryan Mallett was later in the draft. Rest in peace. He was a 3rd rounder. But there was another quarterback that was late that everyone said, this guy's going to be a steal. He's going to be a difference maker. He's going to change the game. He's really going to be able to help a team out. It's not Ricky Stanzi. I know that one. That was the next one that popped up. It's not Ricky Stanzi. Maybe it was some others class. But the point is like, I remember that class, they had 5 players, 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, and none of them ended up being anything. So, who knows? Maybe Caleb Williams will be that guy. Maybe you'll see some team miss out on one quarterback and the other quarterback ends up being better. Who truly knows? But yeah, I will admit and agree where again, I don't know what porcelain. It's not porcelain, but talking about Ryan Mallett getting blackballed that year. Yeah, blackballed's a strong term, but it's definitely there were people that put some stuff out there and were spreading some stuff about him that weren't true, or at least that was not impactful and effective. I remember he got asked about his public intox charge he got before he even played a game at Arkansas, and people were making such a big deal out of it. I was like, dude, listen, yeah, he admitted he was wrong, he shouldn't have done it, but he was literally just walking down the street drunk. Like, come on. So yeah, I do remember that was the case of just the NFL draft. That's another thing maybe I don't like about the NFL draft and the combine and everything is just because become such a ridiculous, over-the-top thing where it's almost like you're trying to go viral for asking the weirdest questions and making a big deal out of nothing, or at least things that shouldn't be a big deal. Because I get you're investing in somebody millions of dollars, and you want to make sure you get it right. I don't disagree whatsoever. But still, I think that there are plenty of reasons to believe that players can be really good despite any off-the-field issues that they have or perceived issues that they had. I think that there's a lot of reasons to be okay with it. Somebody asked me who the Jets should take. I'm really hoping, I don't know if he'll be around at that point because who really knows, but Brock Bowers at tight end. The Jets have the number 10 pick overall. I would really, really, really like Brock Bowers. Get some help over there for Aaron Rodgers, assuming he's healthy. He's already got some good players around him. Need to beef up some offensive line to protect him. But if Brock Bowers is available there, I'd definitely go with him. He's really good. He's really good. Porsenstein? I don't know. Like people are trying to pronounce how it's done. Hog says the draft class with Zach Wilson was trash too, and we're seeing it live. Yeah, I saw that Zach Wilson went to the Broncos. Good luck. We talked about predictions and whether we were right or whether we were wrong or whatever. I was one of those. I was right about the Zach Wilson deal. I did not like that one bit. I didn't like it from the get-go. And I remember I tried to convince myself because of that anytime, any place headband and stuff that he did. I was like, okay, well, Swire, BYU coach or player, maybe he'll do it. But that was about as close as I did, and I could see from the very early, nope, he ain't it. He ain't it. It ain't happening. Not at all. Not at all. Count says, John, you're a great value, Mark Sanchez. What does that mean? I am even afraid to ask what that means. Because you changed it. You said Walmart, Mark Sanchez. Now you're saying great value, Mark Sanchez. So I guess it all means the same. Jeez. Sam Jones says, first-time chatter, long-time listener. We got any of them 5-star recruits yet? Yes, you missed it. We just listed them all out. You just missed the news. No, nothing like that. But I will say, for those of you who are wanting to know more about it, I just think you just need to be on edge about the pod at the Palace. It's going to be happening later tonight. Okay? Just be focusing on that. All these questions I'm getting. When will Arkansas football earn respect? And it's in all caps. When they win. Jose says, John, if you had a son, would you want them to play football or basketball? I don't know. I mean, either one, but if there was only a choice, I would say football, because football was my favorite playing growing up. And there's something magical about going to like if it's high school, like Friday nights. No, basketball's great too, but like Friday nights, nice weather in the fall, got the bands playing. That's not very good because they're high school bands. Smell of popcorn that is way overpriced and has been used from the previous year. You got all the different parents yelling at the officials and the coaches in the stands. There's just something magical about it. So I'd probably say football. I'd probably do that. I'll hang up and listen. Thanks for taking my call, Randy. Jeez. Yeah, that thing's still going. Can you believe that? What time is pod at the Palace? When it's time. That's when it's time. All you got to do is go to the YouTube page for Natty State Sports, folks, and hit that little bell. Once you subscribe, hit that bell, and it'll send you a notification whenever we go live. That's the easiest way to do it, to be honest. So if you want to know what time, just do that. Everybody's asking me these random questions. I'm here for it, though. Also, Count says, per John Nabors, Arkansas will have a big commitment between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sure. Let's go with that. David says, John, is there one Arkansas media member that everyone else just sighs when they walk in, and why is it Bob? Absolutely not. There's not any Bob Holt slander that's going to be happening on this show. I love Bob. Bob's great. We all love Bob. But as far as Arkansas member, whenever somebody signs, I don't know. I do know that there's, I guess, a media member that, or some things that can ask that makes Andrew Ellis shake his head at, because we've heard that a lot. So, no, I don't think so. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think I'm probably that media member that when they walk in, people sigh because they're like, this guy sucks. He's not even a media member. He's not going to ask any questions. He's not a big J journalist. And I'm like, you're right. Just here to get my face seen. Isn't that what it's all about? Just make an appearance. Yeah, let's do that. The fact that, okay, everyone in the chat, okay, I saw the name, I saw the person's name you missed it, and I'll agree. That's all I'm going to say. I will agree with you on that. Brand says, will we see you in the hog pen this weekend? Well, that's what I like to go out to baseball games, but I also like to visit my friends that I don't get a chance to talk to a lot of my friends because of work and travel and all that. So I try to go out to the hog pen at least every game just for a little bit, just to see some of my friends that are out there. But yeah, you'll probably see me. I'll be at the game, at least one of the games this week. I'm going to try to go to all of them, but things happen. So, but yeah, you'll probably see me out there at some point in time. David says I don't have to name names. Then what's the point of the question? What do you want me to say if I can't name names? Jeremy says 2 weeks in jail time or stay in jail till you finish a Rubik's Cube. Probably 2 weeks in jail time because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. And I don't really want to learn. You know, people say it's like, oh, it's a little puzzle. It's an exercise for you. Okay, fine. If that's going to make the difference in me being a success or a failure is if I can figure out how to put together a stupid Rubik's Cube, then I'm doomed. So, yeah, give me 2 weeks in jail and let me get over it. Because I don't want to deal with stuff I've had too much time to think about, and I don't want to learn something new like that. I don't want to do it. Let's see. I know people are coming in with the chats and everything. We also got a call from, I guess it's Darren. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the phone lines. So we got Darren on. What's up, Darren?
What's up, John?
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing the best you've ever seen. What you got for me?
Is it about time that we kind of stop calling our programs blue blood programs like Kentucky and Duke and North Carolina? Because my take on it now is it's completely changed to who your coach is and how much is the NIL.
Okay, so are you saying that? Because I haven't heard it, and if so, forgive me, but I haven't heard really anybody say Arkansas or Arkansas fans claiming that Arkansas is a blue-blooded program. Or are you saying they should start saying they're a blue-blood program?
No, I'm talking about, I've been into it with the Kentucky fans on their boards where they keep saying they're the blue bloods. And all I can say is I don't think there's any such thing as blue bloods anymore since, to me, everything's changed with the NIL. And I think whoever offers the most money, and if they like your coach, that's where everybody's trying to go.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that blue blood is more of a historical term as well, way I've always taken it. Doesn't mean that, because there's blue bloods that have not really been overly relevant. Like I consider Indiana, for instance, a blue blood basketball program. Now, they have not been living up to that name here recently, especially, but I believe that they could be one that is considered. It's a historical thing. But moving forward, I think that there are programs that aren't considered blue bloods that are in better situations than blue bloods now. Like, I'll make this example. Some would say that Michigan State is a blue-blooded basketball program with Tom Izzo. I think that Arkansas is in a much better position moving forward than Michigan State, even though Michigan State's a blue-blooded program. So it's just a term that gets thrown around, and people can give their thoughts on it either way. But to me, I don't know. I just look at it as, hey, are you good or are you not? Blue blood is just something that the historical old-school basketball programs that had success want to hold on to make themselves still feel like they're one of the top of the class and top of the rankings.
Well, I figured this much out. I'm in Louisiana, and I've been, just checking out all the things going on over at Kentucky on their websites and stuff, and what their coach is hiring and the players that they're talking to. And I figured out all you got to do is just put "Go Hogs," and I mean, they will come at you about Calipari. And to me, if Calipari was that bad, why not just say, thank God he's gone, and leave it there? But there's still some jealousy tendency that he left them. What did they want to do? I guess fire him, and then they could say that they got rid of him instead of him leaving for, to me, as good a program as Kentucky's got, which is Arkansas.
Yeah, I think that they are just like anybody else in that position, a little bit threatened by it. And they are very sensitive about it right now because Arkansas fans, rightfully so, are pumped up, excited, stoked, feeling great about their situation in basketball and knowing that everybody knows that not only do they have Cal, but they got the NIL and everything. And it's taken away a lot from Kentucky because Kentucky, right, and not saying it's wrong at all, I'm agreeing with it. Kentucky is the best program in the SEC and has been, and it's not really even been close for the most part. But they've seen teams come up over the past 10 to 15 years, mainly the past 5-6 years, that are not those Kentucky programs that have kind of been getting them out of their comfort zone. You've seen Alabama get better. You've seen Auburn get better. You've seen teams like Arkansas kind of make a resurgence with Muss being the coach there. You think about Tennessee and what they've done, and they were still afloat. They were still saying, okay, well, these programs are good and all, but we're still here. But now nobody's talking about Kentucky. Nobody cares about Kentucky because Cal is now at Arkansas. And Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, those are just programs off the top of my head that are getting a lot more attention, a lot more love, and a lot more good feelings about their future because of their coaches and because of their situations. And Kentucky, it's like, well, as a program, and you can say it's because of Cal, but as a program, past 5 years, you've been irrelevant, you haven't been great, and you just hired a coach that hasn't even won a tournament game, so why should we even believe you're going to be there? So they're sensitive about that. They're scared about it, and so they lash out and they just try to justify themselves. That's my whole long answer to that question is I just believe they're just over the top, sensitive, and scared.
Good point. Very good point. Well, Natty Sports is lucky to have you as a commentator, buddy. Just keep doing what you do, and I'll keep listening, okay?
Well, I appreciate it, Darren. Thank you so much. You're daggum right, Natty State Sports is lucky to have a guy like me commentating. I'm going to have to tell the boss over there to say, hey, look, somebody just said, hey, you're doing a good job. No, I'm just messing with you, Darren. I'm the owner and founder of Natty State Sports, so I would hope that they'd be lucky to have me as a commentator. Because if not, then I am a moron for starting this thing, if that was the case. So, yeah. Yeah, people are commenting about that too. I will say, and I want to give a shout out also, folks. I talked about our tour day Central Arkansas that we had over the past few days. Thank you so much to all of you who showed up. We knew going into that event and going into whether it was those 3 on-location shows we did or going to the baseball game, whatever, we knew that we were going to have people come out and see us. Like, not in an arrogant way, but just being honest, because we got people that have talked about coming out and seeing us, and especially fans of ours that are in the Central Arkansas area that can't make it up here very often. But I was blown away by the amount of people that came. Rock and Roll Sushi, it was incredible the amount of people that showed up there. We were at Town Pump last night. A lot of people showed up during the stream, but then afterwards they showed up, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us. We hope to do more of those in various places in various areas. And somebody even brought it, was like, oh, well, not just Central Arkansas. It's like, well, no, I think it'd be awesome to do a show, somewhere like Hot Springs, which I guess technically could be Central Arkansas, but I'd love to be doing a show in Hot Springs. Somebody mentioned about doing a show in Jonesboro. I was like, I've never been to Jonesboro, really, or spent much time there, so why not? Absolutely. I would absolutely do that. But we'd love to, we as a group, like not just me, but we as a group would love to do shows and be on location across the state. We love this state, man. Like, we love it. And we love hanging out with people and getting to know people and, talking our noise and just having a good time. So, like a week from today, we're going to be at Tin Roof here in Fayetteville on Dixon Street doing a live show at Tin Roof. Like, you got to come out for that. It's going to be so much fun. With all the music and live music they're going to be having after us, and we'll tell you more about that as we go on. But I can't wait for that. Tomorrow, we're going to be at Hydrate NWA on Dixon Street. Jackson Lowry, former Razorback pitcher, he's the owner of it, and he's going to be joining us there, as well as a lot of other former Razorback baseball players. They're going to be joining us. So you need to come out before the Florida series, get hydrated up. We're going to get the IVs on the air, and while we're streaming, I'm sure it'll go well. But, yeah, it's going to be so much fun. So, again, we just wanted to appreciate all of you for showing up and coming out and supporting us. It's cool, and we just continue to grow. Somebody asked about some more Natty State gear. We just got a brand new batch of shirts, Natty State shirts, Natty State sports shirts. I know a lot of you were seeing me wear one, seeing us wear them. Those are on sale. Just go to our website, nattystatesports.com/shop, and you can also click the link there, too, to see it. And something that you need to look out for, it's right there. It's a Natty State Sports hat. One of different designs right there. Be on the lookout for that one. That's pretty cool. So we'll have that for you, too. But we got a lot of apparel coming in. Like, we're trying to, make it spread, make everybody stay a little bit natty. But we got, apparel coming out. Going to have some golf polo shirts here, hopefully here soon. That's kind of been it's been not a struggle. I don't want to say a struggle, but it's been a project that we've had to go through to just make sure, because I don't want to have anything that we sell apparel wise be crap. Like that was something that always bothered me about a website that I liked, or like a social media post I like, or a media platform that I liked, that where they had apparel and you buy it and then you got it and it was crap. Like, I don't ever want that, because I don't want people buying stuff from us and like getting mad, because I wouldn't want that. Like, I wouldn't want to wear something with Natty State on it that was crap, because we're not crap. So our logo, which I'm still very proud of our logo, needs to be on some good quality stuff. So, but we'll again continue to get out there. Chubby says, John, you've come a long way from the morning rush. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Chubby. Chaser. Love the name. Thank you. I've been very fortunate and very blessed to have and have had a lot of opportunities to learn a lot in this business. And it's a very rewarding thing when I look back upon it, and knowing the struggles that sometimes I'd go through, and the ups and downs and the learning deals. And I think one of the toughest things, not to get too in deep on it, but I think one of the toughest things was just whenever like stuff in my personal life would go on, the loss that I would have in my personal life, breakups with the relationships or whatever. I think the toughest thing was always trying to put on this mask and make it work, because I had a responsibility. I had a job. I had to do my show, and I couldn't allow that personal stuff to like intervene and to make the show lackluster or to make it about that. I didn't want to do that. But I've learned a lot. And I have been very blessed and fortunate in timing and in structure and all of that. And, it's not something to where I just throw out there. It's like, I just kind of lucked into it, or I'm just a natural talent. No, it's a lot of hard work. I've put a lot of hard work into everything that I've always done. And I've worked harder than I ever have before in this company. We all have. We all want it to work out. So it's been very rewarding. Very rewarding. Ethan wants us to do a show in Branson. Be all for it. Hayden wants a Hot Springs show and all. It would be awesome. We're going to try to work that out. Cash says, how about Mountain Home? We'll just do a whole tour day Arkansas. Let's do that. All right. Jordan says, come to Jonesboro, bro. Would be sick. Well, hey, hit us up with some places that we could do a show from. And I'd be all for it. Jeremy says, open up a Natty State sports office in Little Rock. Maybe one day. When it continues to blow up the way it is. Maybe one day. Mike and them says, come to my backyard. I'll grill for y'all. Hey, don't tempt me with a good time. I'm all about having some grilled food. Mark says, I haven't listened to the Buzz much since you started the show. Love listening to all those guys growing up, but I just can't handle all those callers that call in every day anymore. Well, appreciate that, Mark. Yeah, that's kind of something else I wanted to do when I was starting Natty State. I just wanted to be different. You know, I wanted to state the obvious. I wanted to be relatable to everybody. Because I've always have been, or at least tried to, but I just want to be able to provide people an outlet and to have fun talking Razorbacks and talking sports. And like, I'm just me. And I want to talk to you because you're normal people too. And that's all it's about. Stephen says, can't watch the morning rush. 2 minutes of sports talk, 13 minutes of commercial every 15 minutes. Yeah, you don't really want that type of ratio. Don't want that ratio. Sam says it's the infamous Natty Hattie, not to be mistaken for the Catalina wine mixer. There you go. Mike and Nim says, would you look at that John Nabors glamour shot on the desk there? Hey, John, is that Magnum or Blue Steel? Again, for those of you who don't know, this was a whatever, it's a Dirty Santa white elephant gift as a joke that I gave. And it's a long story, but it ended up back in my hands through unforeseen circumstances. I signed it. It's a ridiculous thing. It's not serious, but I just put it up there, honestly, to hold the Hunter Holland rookie card that's down there that was given to me by his family. So it's pretty awesome. Which, by the way, next week, Bombastic Podcast, Hunter Holland's going to be joining Andrew Ellis. So be on the lookout for that. And Logan says, really enjoy the context. Still a new listener. Appreciate all you do. Thank you. Yeah. We try to. Yeah, we're in the business of doing a lot of different things too. Not just apparel, but like content. My live shows, I love doing live shows on location at places because that's just fun. And it's easy for us to do as long as we just have internet and power. It's really easy. Aiden says, Natty State potato salad coming soon. Don't tempt us. Don't tempt us with a good time. Christie's is wanting Harrison. You got Gary Nabors. Gary, if it's who I think you are. Malvern, we'll see. Could do that. Zach says, hey, John. Someone says, John, you guys do an amazing job. Thank you. Appreciate you. Stephen Ryan says, John Nabors is the Calipari of sports talk. I'm taking that as a compliment. If you told me that a year ago, I would not have, but I'm taking it as a compliment right now. Let's see. David says, serious note, I really appreciate your fan-first theology to the show. Well, yeah, because this is for y'all. It's for the fan. I know it's a cliche to say, but it's true. What good would it do me whatsoever to have a show that's not made for the audience? Like, that to me has never made sense of why you would do it. But yeah, absolutely. And I'm getting hyped up in the chat. Y'all are sweet. Y'all are awesome to me. I appreciate it. Mike says, your show has become my go-to source for hog info, listening from Hoover, Alabama. Very awesome, man. Very awesome. Appreciate you. Yeah. Because that's the thing is, like Curtis, Andrew, and Scotty, having those guys a part of the team has been game-changing. Those guys are on top of it all the time. And they do a great job of putting in work and analytics and studying up and researching, and they have fun doing it. So, you know, I've enjoyed having them on board more than anything because, you know, they push me to be better too. So Eric says, what's your expectations for the upcoming year in basketball realistically? I mean, I got to see the roster first. I expect them to compete for a Final Four national championship. I guess I got to know who the roster is. Jose says, John, do a collab with Boss Hogs. The Boss Hog podcast here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not. That's their thing. That's Josh Braun and the offensive line. I have given them full creative control on that, and I'm not. I can help and guide. I can advise. I can when it's asked for, but that's theirs. I don't ever want to make it about me. I have my show. I have my platform. I want that to be their way. So if they asked me to do it, I would absolutely do it. But I'm not. I want it to be the way they do it and how they want to do it. Steve says, do a show in Nashville, Tennessee when Hogs play Vandy. I could do that. I like Nashville. I actually really love Nashville. Hope that would happen. Big Curl Earl said, Melwood would be great, bro. You might be doing a podcast show with some Bears, but hey, I mean, who hadn't wanted to do a podcast with Bears? Who hadn't wanted to do it? No, thanks, Branson. Excellent. Says, we love everything, Natty. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. Try to be. Christy says, listen, I knew you guys when announced Natty State that this would be my go-to for Hogs content. Love that you guys go live when big stuff happens. Yeah, that was... I love how this became from the show to just answering questions, but I like it. Because I like to, again, get interactive and everything. Yeah, that was my thing I wanted to do. Like a lot of stuff I wanted to do with the content of what we provide. But something I always just thought of, because I thought about it in my own aspect of being a fan my whole life. I think back to like when Houston Nutt and the Gus Malzahn drama was going on. Before social media was really around, and it seemed like there was constant rumors and speculation happening. And when it was, I was checking message boards. I was on woopig.net. I don't think that exists anymore. I was on woopig.net. I was checking those message boards every single day I could, because I just wanted it. I wanted more. I wanted to know what's going on. I want to know what's going on. And then social media came around, and it's there, but it's not into the organized way of finding out the information that you need to find out. But I looked at that and I was like, okay, but the fans don't change of what they want. When something's going on, when something's happening, they want it right then and there. They want it now. They want to know more. They want to have more and be able to access it. And so my plan was when we started this I'm like, I even told the guys, I'm like, anytime something big happens, we go live. And some things will be bigger than others, but we go live. Because I want to catch fans, Razorback fans, when they're at their highest emotionally. It could be good, it could be bad, but catch them at their highest and go live. Because when you do that, people have a place to go. So that's why we do it that way, is because we want to be there where people have a place to go when things are going on. So we try to make it work. Mike says, will Natty State Sports be at the SEC baseball tournament? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on that. Air It Out says, can't wait to watch how much Natty State Sports grows over the next year. Me too. But it's been awesome, man. Like, the growth has been incredible. And we're just getting started. John, who's the autographed baseball card? Yeah, I was just saying, that's Hunter Holland, former Razorback. Played last year. Things with the Reds. It's a signed rookie card in a case that was given to me by the Holland family, because Hunter came on my show a few times last year, and they really appreciated me doing that and talking with him, and not trying to like set him up for failure, not trying to be like a gotcha guy. And so they're really cool and really awesome, and I really appreciate them. So they gave me that, and so I wanted to have it on display for everybody. Carl says, love your show. Can't wait for football and basketball teams to monkey stomp the SEC. Yeah, me too. I can't wait for it either. Kevin says, what is the big news? Sorry, joined late. Well, there's not any big news yet. We'll see. Count says, are Curtis and Scotty going live or just posting a video tonight? Whenever, again, it goes back to the whole thing. When something happens, when it pops, they're going live. So just be on the lookout for them. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Kingsley says, residential listener and watcher Kingsley. It was good meeting him down in Arlington. He says, thanks for keeping it as positive as possible, too. There are way too many Hog platforms that are negative by default, and that gets old fast. Well, I mean, if anybody ever like understood what fans want, like you would have an understanding of that optimism is not an enemy of fandom. I'm an optimistic person by nature in everything because I think life's so much more fun when you're optimistic. And if it's something you care about, you like to be optimistic in it too. Like, it may be too deep, but I've looked at it as in save relationships. Because the Razorbacks, for some and for most, especially diehard fans, it's a relationship. It's a transactional thing. And in relationships, there's ups and downs. You know, you fail as a fan, they fail as a team. Like, there's ups and downs, but you care and you love. And you when that's there, you're going to have emotional reactions to it. But at the end of the day, though, you should never be in a marriage with something that you're not optimistic about, that you don't have hope for. Because what's the point of being a fan of any team if you don't have hope and faith that it's going to go great? Like, what's the point? So I'm hopeful. I think I'm pretty realistic, though, at times. I mean, I tried to view through the viewpoints of fans, but I still understand what's the point of doing all that and being a fan if you're just miserable all the time. I don't want that, and I couldn't do that, nor do I ever want to go down that road. So that's something I want to keep doing. Boo says, keep locked on Razorbacks, John. Don't need another personality talking about the Hogs. All right. If you insist, keep on doing that. Dan says, what is that guy from the intro dipping into his mashed potatoes? You can guess. I'll let you guess on that. Sam Jones says, Houston Nutt says there's nothing like a celebrated live chat. Let's go for the Roper soap. I don't know what that means. Razor Shark says, Natty State Sports is the place to be. Go Hogs. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Patrick says, Natty State's sports is great. Don't change a thing. Yeah, and here's the thing. I appreciate it. Some people call it Natty State. Some people call it Natty Sports. I don't mind it as long as you get like some of the words right. But I will say I do prefer Natty State. Like, Natty State Sports is great. Natty Sports on it's fine. Or just Natty. I like Natty too. But like Natty State, just quick, easy, to the point. But yes, appreciate you. Jeremy says, who wins a beer drink contest, Curtis or Andrew? I don't know. I think Curtis. But it'd be close. Curtis is just, since he's a bigger dude, he can hold his own a little bit easier. But Andrew's younger too, so he might be able to. I don't know. That might be a good deal. I don't know if that's what we want to. That's not the road we want to go down, but it's a possibility. We could do that. Yeah, Boogie Flan and Richmond. Folks, they're going to be at Arkansas. Don't worry. They're going to be at Arkansas. Sam says there's a fine line between optimism and blind, sunshine pumping. I enjoy the optimistic podcast, like the ones who keep it real and uncut. It creates balance. Yeah, well, I'm not. I mean, it's the thing too. Is like I'm not for everybody. That's something that people don't understand in this business. Not everybody, but some. You don't have to be liked. I know I am not liked by a lot of people. There's people that really hate me. And if you don't believe me, you can just see some of the messages I get sometimes or the things that are said about me like that. And that's fine. I am totally fine with people not liking me. But that's what makes this business great is that you have options. If you don't like me, then you have somebody else. Or if you're at Natty State, if you don't like me, you can like Curtis or Andrew or Scotty. I mean, that's what it is. It's like having options. You don't have to like me. But it's fun. It's fun to do what we're doing and how we're doing it. And at the end of the day, that's all we always want to do is have fun. Count says, John, 2 weeks ago versus now, dude is so happy. Yeah, I mean, I am happy. I'm like, I've had stuff that's happened, personal life. Like some of you saw my post about my dog, Rowdy. And trying to get too emotional talking about that. That took a turn. But, when you have stuff that happens in your life and, you still got to work, you still got to put in the work and put in the hard work of this and, keeping this company going and running it and growing it and spreading it. It's a lot of work and, that can wear on you a little bit. So it's just about, keeping it going. And sometimes you get worn down a little bit, but that's okay. We all do at times. But just a matter of working through it all and making it the best thing we can. Jake says, did you name the show after Natty Light? My man. As much as it would be cool, apparently for you, no, it's because it's I guess it is a little bit maybe inspired by, because Natty Light was short for natural light. Well, Arkansas, the state, is called the natural state. So natural light went to Natty Light, so natural state went to Natty State, and there it is. So James says, nobody from nowhere here. Miss you on the buzz. Nobody from nowhere. Dude, I remember you calling in. It was always good to hear from you. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. But I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Some of these comments kill me. Like, I wish I could read some of them. It's just a little absurd. It's like someone, I was like, I don't know. We need to go down some of these roads that people want to bring up. Chris says, love the great work, brother. Keep up the great work, brother. Love the content. No, I appreciate you. And thank you. We will. We're going to keep it up. I'm just going to call you Porkenstein. Works for me. He says, my dad would mix Natty Light and gin. Whew, buddy. Kudos to you and your dad. That's intense. Boo Jones says, when the Hogs basketball went to crap, I was worried about Natty. I'm glad the fan base is re-energized. I was never worried about Natty. I was never worried about us. We had a lot planned for when we launched to have it to where SEC season was going on in basketball, and we were just going to ride that because it was going to be great. And it didn't happen. But we still grew steadily. It wasn't as much, but we still grew. And again, it goes back to being blessed and being fortunate, and timing is a wonderful thing. And, I'm not trying to be religious on everybody, but I'm a Christian, and I believe in the power of prayer. And a lot of times, sometimes you just need to have it happen, and you got to hope that, something pops. And it did. And we haven't looked back, and we're not going to look back. I'm saying this as no disrespect to anybody. I'm saying it because I believe it. There is nobody who in the media in this state, there's nobody that's going to work as hard as we do, and nobody that's going to be able to do the things we do and talk about the things we do and put out the content that we do. There's just no way. There's no way. And I'm saying that, again, not as an insult to anybody. I'm saying it because I'm that confident in what we're doing. And if you need, or if anybody needs evidence of that, just look at the Calipari stuff. Folks, we just hit 5,000 subs on YouTube today. And some of you will be like, okay, big whoop. There's other places that have this. Folks, hitting 5,000 subscribers in 2.5 months of the first existence of a YouTube channel is insane. And it's awesome. So we aren't looking back. And we're going to get it. We're going to continue to get it going. Continue to get it going. People were talking about what they mixed in with Natty Light. Cole the bowler. We're about to come out of time. We got a few minutes here. I like answering y'all's questions and comments and stuff, though, when I actually have time to do it, because most of it's just me ranting or talking about the Razorbacks. But I do like the other stuff, too, that's on it. Cole the bowler says, y'all are an inspiration to many. I felt like a little 9-year-old watching the Hogs at y'all's show on Monday, just being around y'all. Thanks, y'all, for making my long days good. Hey, no, we appreciate that, Cole. And it was fun. It was fun watching that and being a part of that and being a part of that stream and just discussing the craziness that went along with it. We appreciate it. It's supposed to be fun, and it is fun. Thomas says, any updates to basketball recruiting? I'd say wait here in the next hour or so. Tell you that. Subscribe to the United States Sports YouTube channel, though, because you're going to want to. I'm giving you all the heads up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now, because something here soon is going to happen. So just do that. Just saying. Jared Wolfenbarger says, what size of the United States Sports shirt do you wear? I believe we're about the same size. I think a large. And also, Dan says, have you considered streaming Razorback games as reactionary content? We can't stream Razorback games themselves at all. Like, we can't show any Razorback content at all. But we have done the live stream during the games of Razorback basketball. We did that this past year. Wasn't very fun at times, but where we would just have the camera on us watching the game, reacting to it. And it was a success. We had a lot of people get involved in it. So, yeah, we're going to keep doing that. Cash says, going live and striking when the iron hot is the best. I love it. No one else in the round does it this year around here. That's right. That's right. That's what we do. That's what we do. And let's see where someone else is at. Smelling salts. The smelling salts, here's the funny thing about the smelling salts. We did smelling salts during our live streams on occasion. It was the Juju Bufu is what it's called. It's like the ones from Joe Rogan's. It's like the most powerful smelling salts there was. And I guess I had them in a drawer or something like that. And the lid eroded because you're supposed to have it out in open air. So it's that strong. But yeah, that was pretty fun. Jake says, do you have any United States sports merchandise we can buy? Yes, Jake, absolutely. Absolutely. Go to UnitedStatesSports.com/shop. Go to our website. You'll see it. You'll see the merchandising that we have. So yeah, absolutely. And we're going to continue to have merch. Not just T-shirts, but we're working on polo shirts and hats. Like I said, you see the hat right behind me over here. We're going to have hats involved. We're going to have decor. We're going to have decals. We're going to have a lot of stuff. So yeah, be on the lookout for it. We're going to continue to grow that part of it. Salts or laxative, don't smell them. Wow. Never hurt anybody, right? Oh, man, we went a little long, but that's okay. We are good to go because we got a lot of things to discuss as the day goes on, as the show goes on, and as the hours come on and everything. Okay, some news I guess I saw. So the Arkansas-Florida baseball game on Friday has been moved to 6 p.m. first pitch. So, okay, so it's going to go a little earlier. So there's that news. Sorry, I got everybody hyped up. They thought it was going to be recruiting news. My bad. It's just something about baseball. I want to let everybody know about it. So, all right. Folks, that does it for me. Appreciate all of you listening in, watching in to the John Nabors Show as all things Natty State Sports. We're blowing up, and it's because of you. And we're going to continue to give you great content, and we're never going to stop. That's what we're going to do. So appreciate all of you. Subscribe to the channel. Continue to support us. Buy our merchandise. It helps us out so much. We're going to continue to do live shows again. We're going to be live at Hydrate NWA on Dixon tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock. Come out and see us. There'll be a lot of former Razorback baseball players there, too. Going to have Tyler Spoon joining us over there. Of course, Jackson Lowry is the owner. He's going to be there with us, and we'll have a lot more there, too. So come hang out with us. Get yourself an IV because it's not just for hangovers like some people think. It truly is something that can help you with health and makes you just feel so much better. So come on out, and we're going to do it live on the stream, and I'm sure it'll go really well. But appreciate all of you, and we are going to keep it rolling here. Be on the lookout for tonight. Maybe a live stream you need to be watching. Either way, same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow afternoon. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.